What's going on, guys? It's your boy NYC Gaming back today with FPLR Round 2 in the Netherlands. As in Round 1 we were at the Bahrain Grand Prix and it was not a very good race, you can say, as we had a lot of issues with my game and then an incident with Alton G later in the race, which really summed up the weekend as a whole. As here at this race we have some limited expectations, you can say, because I was really struggling to find a setup that would really work well for me. As I'm going to take you through a lap of this very tricky circuit here. We're going down into second gear for turn 1, and then we're going to short shift into third on exit. Very careful to not get too much oversteer here, as we just do a little dab on the brakes and flick the car in as we get into the bank. Very easy to lock up, but we don't, and get a very good exit out off the camber. It's a very tricky one here. As we're going to stay in 7th gear on the straight as to make this next super fast right-hander good, as we just flick it down into 6 and the car just sticks. Usually with this setup that I have,
your P2
it's a bit oversteery here. As trying not to get too much on the curb, as that can hurt your run here, as we go down into 3rd gear using all the track on the left, as we get a bit distracted by someone going a bit slowly here, as this is a hard one to get an exit, as we open the DRS for this back straight here. Going to go down into 3rd gear, over the curb a bit, and then down into 2nd as we go a bit deep here. We definitely lost a lot of time as we get a pretty decent exit here, as we're going to go down into 4th gear, trying not to hit the curb, though we do hit it a bit, as we go through the final corner on the banking. What's it going to be for our banker, as we're going to be aiming for the mid 109s, and it's a 109.6. Not great, but it's definitely doable here, as we're into our 2nd flying lap here. Purple through the 2nd sector, gaining a lot of time through the chicane, almost 3/10 up, though we did have a lot of mistakes in the 1st sector. So this could definitely become a better lap here, as we see our teammate ahead, as we're going to try and get a little bit of a slipstream here. As we run to line, what's it going to be? It's going to be P2, very surprising. I did not think that I had P2 pace at this track, but we'll see how everyone does. That was a really good lap, actually, better than I thought. As we're going to go out for our final lap, we're going to try and get into the high 108s here, which would be an absolutely amazing lap for us here.
Yeah, I should give you.
So going out the pits, as we're, I think, one of the last, if not the last person to come out, as we see coming behind us, and we've spun! We've spun coming out of the pits! Oh, that's just a very hard corner with the camber here, as I just turn right and the car just completely moves away from me, as I was trying to let Wayne go, who I'm in a voice chat with, and you can probably hear. But that's really going to put an end to my flying lap here, as we're still in P2 here, but just watching others come around to complete their lap, as P1's just going to improve even more and go into the 108. It's a good lap from him. As we see Ryan, he's going to run to the line now, as Yolte jumps me. Another good lap from him, very close at the top, as Ryan is just going to get ahead of me here. Oh, if we could have gotten that 2nd lap in, I think pole was on the cards here. As looking at our strategy for the day, we think it's going to be a soft to hard, as we're going to... It's a very hard track to overtake, you can say, and it's very, very hard to gain ERS. So we'll see what we can do here, as we're getting ready for the race here. Just waiting for everyone to load in, and then we'll see how everything goes here. Sorry, it takes a bit. This game is a bit interesting with how the connection plays out, which can get a bit frustrating, you can say here. As we're going to look on, no formation lap today. We get the 5 red lights, getting ready for the start. And it's 5 lights, and away we go. It's a very delayed start, as we get a bit of wheel spin. Short shifting into 3rd at the start, but we get a lot of wheel spin in the 2nd phase. Not great, but we're going to keep position. We're going to look down the inside of the Ferrari here, but he's going to get better traction off that exit, as we're trying to stay in, but we're going to have to back out a bit here. As we stay in the same order as we started. As we're just going to try and stay in this position and keep Lil Oliver in the McLaren behind, who in the last video you can see is a very, very fast opponent, as we have the virtual safety cars here, as there were some incidents further back in the grid here. As we're getting underway again here, we don't get the best virtual safety car restart, but they're going almost 3 wide at the top. Wow, they're really going for it here, as Yolte is looking for a move on the Williams, as they make a bit of contact. I think the Williams did get a bit of damage and was hampered for the rest of the race, as we're looking for a bit of a move on the Ferrari, but we don't get a great exit as we get squeezed, and the McLaren comes on the outside. I do not see him and kind of push him into the gravel.
Ooh, did somebody crash
as we
up
have
there?
to kind of make way for him. But he did report that to his stewards, as we did have a great fight here in this race, and no hard feelings. But he's a clean driver, and I really do like having battles with him. As the Ferrari dives down the inside, that's a hard place to overtake here. As we're gonna try and see if we can pick up the scraps here, but it just doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. And actually, that incident with the McLaren earlier was deemed a racing incident, as I just didn't see him. There was nothing I really could have done there. But we're just going to see if we can get past the Williams, as he is seeming a bit slow at the stage here, so we almost spin a lot of oversteer here. As I am talking in this, you will be able to hear it, but I kind of made another mistake. I'm sorry about that. But, so you cannot really hear me much. But we're just trying to be a bit careful on deploying the ERS, only using it when I have to defend. I don't think we'll be able to go in for the move while he has the ERS on the car ahead. As the Ferrari has actually spun at this point in the race. So we're on the back of him, going for P2 in this race. As we fly past him, he's not going to put up much of a defense, as I think he realizes at this stage of the race, I have a lot more pace. And we're being very careful to avoid the curb on the inside of turn 1, seeing as that is a very, basically an auto spin curb. As we're under pressure from the McLaren here on lap 8, we do go into AM for a sec to adjust my brake pedals. As we don't make it too hard for him. We know we know he has more pace than me at this stage in the race. And we're just gonna try and hang on to his DRS and kind of cling on to him and have him drag me along here. As we're getting towards the pit phase for the one stop here, as we'll see who goes in. I'm scheduled to pit on the very next lap, which is what I'm gonna do. I might have to go for an uppercut here as the McLaren pulls into the pit lane here. This is gonna be crucial for us. We're gonna need to have a good in lap. We're gonna go for the overcut, and we're gonna stay on board for this lap. Going through turn 1, very nice. No oversteer on exit, exactly what you want. Trying to use my ERS to keep it in, as we're just trying to eat the last bit out of the tires. Again, locking up on the front right here. Very hard not to. As we're just trying to use everything to our disposal to just really get this overcut to work. It's going to be really hard, but we'll see if we can do it here. As we're just trying to stay close to the curb, getting a bit on the curb on exit. Not too bad. It doesn't really affect you, as we do have a bit of a wash of understeer on the entrance to that corner there, which does definitely lose us some time here. As we're just trying to keep it clean, trying to keep it fast, but not make any spin or big mistake, which could really ruin us here. As you can see, the tire indicator, meaning we do have a lot of tire wear. We are above 60%. So it's not like these tires are fresh anymore. They've definitely seen some better days as we get towards the final quarter here, and we'll see if our in-lap has worked well. And we're going to pull into the pits. It's a very fast pit lane here, only 13 seconds, maybe 15 seconds for a stop here. As we're going in, we're going to see if we can make this right. Stopping on our marks. The pits is giving us a good stop. We are good on the exit, having a good reaction. As we can see, the Yolte as I think spun as the McLaren is coming down. And have we made it work? We have made the overcut work. I did not expect this to happen, but we have made the overcut work on the McLaren. That is working exactly the plan. As I was not able to put it in here, though I wanted to. But the Mercedes of Yolte spun on the curb, and the McLaren almost had to run into him and had to back off a little bit. As we move here onto lap 17, he has caught up and passed us here. And I kind of expected that, though I do think I can stay in his DRS yet again here. Only trying to use ERS when I really need to stay in, because he does seem very fast at this stage in the race, and we're just going to want to hang on, keep ahead as we move on to lap 22, sticking in this 5/10 range. Very good. As you can see, the McLaren ahead and the Mercedes behind it both got a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. As the safety car has just come out. As I'm explaining the corner cutting, the safety car has come out, and that has really sent a bit of a strategy into play, because do we stay out? Do we pit? I'm just not sure what to do here. As I'm talking with the Renault here, as you can kind of hear in the background, that we should pit in this race. We decided that we're going to go onto soft tires, and we're going to see if that can make a difference, seeing as I do have a pit stop to the car behind. And going back to that corner cutting part, we do not have a single warning, so it's been very good. In my old league that I used to participate in, I would get a lot of corner cutting penalties, but we're good so far, and we'll see if we can jump in the pits, as we are in a net P1 here. We're going onto the soft tire here to finish off this race, and he just gets back ahead, very narrowly. But he has gone onto the medium tire, very different, as I thought that the soft tire could make it to the end here. As we look back and see what other people have gone onto, and it seems that a lot of people have gone onto the medium tire. That was definitely not what I was expecting. I thought more people would choose to go soft.
Because these guys don't know how to do a safety car reset, so you want to back off.
We'll see if the strategy works, but who knows? I mean, getting our tires rolled, we should be faster at the start of this race, as the safety car has been
just back off a little bit, and then
for a long time, which has helped us with tire wear, meaning we're not going at full pelt, and our tires can last longer.
Yeah,
we'll see if we can get a good safety car restart and put the McLaren ahead under pressure here. We're strong alongside, and he goes, and we do not get a good start. We're going to have to use a lot of ERS to defend from the Mercedes behind, weaving a bit to get temperature in the tires, but we should have more grip to keep him behind. We brake later, and I'm surprised myself how much I turned in. And I almost hit the curve there, which obviously would have spun, which would not have been fun at this stage in the race after racing for a good 40 minutes.
Ooh, okay.
So, we're going here, we're trying to use our ERS, and it seems like this is the lap that we're going to pass the McLaren with DRS, going around the outside. A beautiful move, and with the camber of that corner, we can do that. As he sticks it on the inside, but we're going to have to leave it safe, but we're able to just utilize the grip of these soft tires and just go sailing around the outside. Again, as I was saying, the camber of turn 1 really does benefit an outside move here. But we're going to just see if we can continue on and keep him behind us, because at the end of this stint, the soft tires will start to go off a bit, and he will become a bit faster. But if we don't get penalties, we should stay ahead, because he does have that penalty. As we move on to the final corner of the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, leading onto the final lap of the Grand Prix, and he's looking for a move here, as my tires have significantly dropped off here. As he's going to the outside, he squeezes me a bit. I was not feeling good at this time, as we just back off just a little bit to let him go through, as I really don't want to crash on the final lap of the race, as that would be a catastrophe, as I know that no matter what, I should be P1 if I obviously keep him in 3 seconds, which should be doable if I just conserve a bit. As that's just amazing. I really did not expect to have the pace today, as we're just going to be looking here to stay on the pace.
Alright, save that ERS. Get him on the final straight.
Just a few more quarters to go, entering Sector 2, getting ready to go into the
2 seconds.
chicane of Sector 3. And we're keeping it steady. I mean, I'm trying to. I mean, I'm not really hyping it up as much as I should, but we are really in the driver's seat now. And after coming back from the Bahrain Grand Prix, where we struggled immensely, this is going to be a great comeback round for us here, as we're finally riding the final corner, as we're going to come to the line and win the Grand Prix. You can hear my reaction in the background. That's exactly the race we wanted. The confidence booster that we needed. As this has significantly surpassed any expectation that I had for this race. As just yesterday, 24 hours ago, I was struggling to find any setup that I could work with. And then I used a Pro Esports driver setup and came back here, and I made it work here, as we're just spectating here for the last few points of the race here, as I was just in awe. They're going a bit crazy at the end. I mean, they're outside of the points. There's really nothing at stake for them here. As wow, this surprised me so much. I was not expecting to be at this point. You know, I mean, I did not think that I had the pace to be here. as
right, yeah,
just wow. I mean, I'm still kind of, you know, in awe that I was able to pull this out of the bag, as I think the McLaren did have a bit more pace, but in quali especially, though, he did not set the lap time that he
driver of the day too.
But the race pace was there, and that was definitely something that I was surprised about. As next week it's going to be the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, and we're going to be...
You have the fastest lap as well.
I think we should be pretty decent at that track. That is a track that I definitely enjoy, but we'll see what the pace is there. And thank you guys for watching so much. This is an amazing race, an amazing one to participate in. And yeah, so don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment what you thought. I mean, I want to know you guys' thoughts on these types of videos that I make now, and we'll see how you feel about them. So thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys in a week's time. Bye.